All right, welcome guys. We're back with Distant Worlds 2. Going to sort of continue on from where we were last time. So we're playing as the Harkonish Mercantile Dominion. So we're playing with the new Harkonish faction, which has been a lot of fun actually. I've really enjoyed it, and we've got some very, very powerful fleets now. Actually, that reminds me, I do have one DasDemption that we need to sort of start off with, and that is, if I just go back to the first fleet, all of our big ships have been renamed. So we've got the Tailsly Fox, the Beacon, the Quark Fleet Destroyer, but we do have a couple of... Oh, there's the Bowl and P. I did do it. That's what I was looking for. I needed to rename one of them Bowl and P, and so we'll actually just... Because I've been sitting on it for a good week and a half. I didn't realise I'd already done it. There we go. 10 days ago that was redeemed. That we can tick that one off. Okay, we're up to date. Okay, that's cool. So we're in and about. So what's been happening is where we left it last time. There's a massive war going on. Now this is the not the leader actually. We're doing fairly well in terms of leadership in the actual game itself. But this is the Quamenos in through here are expanding extremely rapidly, which is a bit unusual for the Quamenos. The Quamenos are not typically a fast expansion race, so it's sort of interesting to see them so out there with what's actually going on. So we've got fleets all over the place. We've done fairly well with our money because of the trade. So because we're a good trading nation, we've been able to sort of keep on top of the finances, which has allowed us to then build these fairly large and powerful fleets. So we've got a fair number of those going on. They've got like a lot of fleets as well. Their ship and our ships, ship for ship, there's no real. Well, actually, there is a comparison. Our ships are a lot less powerful than theirs in terms of each actual ship, but the overall theirs are mainly defensive, whereas and this is where their power rating comes from. Their very, very high defense, whereas ours is just sort of like a standard little ship. Hi Beacon, how you going? So but we did actually find an ancient ship graveyard back in, where was it, around in here somewhere, I think it was in here, and so we've actually been able to take 4 ships out of there, which are very, very powerful ancient ships, and so we've got them in our fleets as well, and then they're real game changers. So anyway, with the different fleets, we can see there's different sort of attacks and things going in, little strike forces. So for example, that little strike force there of only 5 ships has got an attack rating there of 2,446. My typical fleets into this side, we've got a strike force for ourselves, which has only got like with a lot more ships, 10 ships in it, so double the number of ships, but we're less than half the actual strength itself. So these are this is like a smallish fleet that's coming in. I'll just go through each of the fleets because I guess that's really we're going to be sort of dealing with today. Is we're doing the attacking at this point in time. Well, actually, not really. They've responded with invasion forces that haven't been able to land. We've been able to sort of get back in time and scramble to put threats on the invasion fleet. So they do actually have an invasion fleet down in here. Where is it? It's not quite the one. Yeah, 25th invasion fleet. Yeah, so that's it there. And you can see even that one's got a strength of 2,100, but it's got like 1 infantry and 5 armor. So it's not super powerful, and yet they were coming in to invade this world, which is it's a human world that we control. We got control of that very early on in the game. So we're protecting. This is very important to us. Our main target for the war is this world over in through here. And so more than anything, what we want is to take this world during this particular attack. So eventually what we're going to be doing is trying to come into this other side and then take this world with this a human world. They should become fairly friendly with us. This was a world that was controlled by the Mortallans, which are down through here, who are also at war with the Quameno. And they're in a bit of trouble. They've really just got sort of like their home world is pretty much the only one that's sort of left. Actually, where is their home world? Down in here. And so the home world is like the home moon. This desert moon is sort of really where they're set up, but they're really struggling against this particular war. Hi Steph, how you going? So anyway, that's sort of where we are with the actual, with the, I guess, where we're not planning on really doing too much further across through here. You can see these green fleets, these are ours. Our first fleet is actually operational, but is moving back. So let's just go through each of the fleets and just talk about what they're doing. We bounced out of a war back into here, which we've now sort of finished that war off, and we'll now try to be friendly. The previous war, we were trying everything we could to control, I think it was, which world was it? This world here, I think. No, that's not it either. Sorry, the wrong area. Draconia. This is the world into here. So we wanted to control the Zentabia fluid in the game. And so this is like an extremely high resource, like extremely powerful resource. So we managed to sort of, during that war, in the end, build a mining station, which is now sort of coming in. We've got light traders coming in to actually sort of then go and ultimately they'll come in and pick up the various Zentabia fluid and take it back to our own state, our own worlds, and so that's a very, very important world. So we've left a couple of fleets back into here, but let's just talk about each of the fleets. So the first fleet is our main attack fleet, and so this is coming through. We've got Admiral Sev in charge of the actual fleet itself. We've got a couple of three of the ancient ships sort of in the lead of this particular one, and a few destroyers as well. Very, very powerful fleet. And so it's moving across to set up what will become the operation here around this human world. So they've moved up from this previous war, and they're now moving up this other side. The second fleet is over here, which is also a powerful fleet, but it doesn't actually have any, it's only got 1,900 overall strength, but it is actually still a very, very powerful fleet with 3 destroyers, but nothing too exciting, I guess. What have we got in through there? We've got a general imprisoned, so we actually do have we imprisoned one of the generals from the previous war. They're still in this particular fleet, and then we've got Admiral von Schweinhund in charge of this particular fleet, which is sort of now coming back in through here to, and what's its job? It is trying to capture a mining station. So we're just raiding into the sort of, I guess, the outer edges of the Quameno location, just to put pressure on them. So we'll sort of just keep on doing this around this area, just trying to whittle up the war score as high as we can get it. The third fleet is back over here. Now, the third fleet is it has like the Orangutan's Library, which is a heavy carrier, which is also one of the ancient ships. And so this one is a powerful fleet, which is moving across now to get back into this base, which is actually being raided by a few different groups. So we have the 17th Strike Force has come in. Excuse me, they've taken some damage, so they're actually now moving away. They've only got 3 ships, so these are like raiding forces, and so that's now moving off to Scaliger 3, which is down in through here. This is actually where they're assembling. The enemy are assembling back in this particular location, but we just want to get ahead of where they actually are coming in. So the third fleet is moving back that way. The fourth fleet is my main invasion fleet, and we do need to go and check on this one, just to make sure that there's that we've got everything that we need from our home world, which is back into here. Now we've pretty much building things up slowly at this point in time, so we don't have very much left on that particular world. Then we have another moon out through here, so Essail, and Essail is still building everything else up. So the fourth fleet now is full of, this has now got 14 infantry and 5 armour. That is our attack force. That's the one that we're going to be landing on the planet with. I think we just move off with these. We've still got a bit of space on board, but this will become our invasion fleet. We've got a general in through there, General Falcons, who will be, well, he's not very good with the ground attack strength, unfortunately, -4%, which is not great. But let's just keep it going anyway. So we'll move him up into this human world as well. So we'll just get this one ready to assemble back at this location. In fact, we may be building fleet troops here. We're trying to build troops in this other side. Just go and just tell the 4th invasion fleet to go and just go to refuel at. She'll go back to this base in here. refuel at Mission 1 spaceport. So we'll come into this particular spaceport and refuel. So this invasion fleet has been turned back. They're now moving away from this particular world. So we'll move those in. That's the 4th fleet. The 5th fleet is this small strike force, and so I've set it to automatically look after everything around the MISM system, but it's moving across to refuel at Seng 2 mining station at this point in time. But this is also where another strike force is coming in, so we'll just sort of micromanage that one. It's on auto at the moment, but we will use it to defend. In fact, I could even set it to defense. Yeah, I might just do that. Just change it to the defend role. So that will then it'll still just look after things there, but it'll just refuel there first, and then should be there ahead of this particular attack. And they're around about the same strength. This is 1,050 versus 1,053. So very, very even. But we should have the advantage with the little destroyers and things that we actually have in that particular fleet. That's the 5th. The 6th fleet is way back over here. I'm moving this one back. This is a powerful fleet, or more powerful than the 5th fleet, as an example. I'm moving it back to the home world to protect the home world, just in case that they send something through this gap between these nebulas. You just never really know, if they will be able to do something. The 7th is back over through here, which is going to off to, you can see it's just got a very, very small area there to protect. And it's there just to protect the Zentabia fluid. So it's moving across. It is actually just a little defense group, very, very weak. But hopefully that will be enough to sort of turn away any raiding forces that may come through. The 8th fleet is we don't have. So that's all we've got with our fleets. So we've got currently action going on in here. So what are they doing? They're they're trying to capture. This is the 2nd fleet, the Zolkin 3 mining station. All right, let's just watch this one go in. Oh, now this is interesting. So we've just finished off the enhanced civilian ships research has now been completed, which has now given us the larger mining ships, the medium freighters. So this is going to help us with our economy even more. Just dismiss that for a second and have a quick look and see what's next. Next up coming up is monitoring stations. So we've got a few different things that we are that we've got coming back up. Now the small spaceport. Do we want to put that above monitoring stations? And I don't think so. We've got the long-range scanners now, so we can, with monitoring stations, we're going to be able to place them around the place. What I might do, though, is actually just go and change, when we do get this one, it's coming in three and a bit years. If I go and, it's only 73,000 to crash research. I will pay that. That way we get it in half the time, so it's now going to be 1.5 years to pick up that particular one. So let's just go that way. There's nothing critical that we need at this point in time. I would like to get the multi-role starships, but I just don't need them just yet. And also I do want to ultimately get the planetary... where is it? So actually we've already got system governance. We can't get sector governance because we don't have high enough high-tech research at this stage. Which would be great. That would be really awesome. Galactic diplomacy. It does help with all research as well. There's 22 years to get that. Let's not worry about it. Let's just keep on doing what we're doing here. So anyway, that's sort of like our logistics and things that are sort of now coming back through. Now the monitoring stations, the game will set them up in all sorts of different locations, which is fine, except that I don't want too many of them. And same with defense bases. So what we can do is we can go back to the automation settings for the for the way that the policy for the way that the AI is to help you, which is really, really powerful. So Falcon's saying an extra day of Distant Worlds 2 or early Wednesday. It's sort of early Wednesday-ish, I guess. Actually, what day is it? Well, it's tomorrow, isn't it? And I will be able to stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's Christmas Day for me, but I stream so early no one else is awake. Actually, today is more the traditional Christmas day for us. It's the I know it's the 23rd for most of you. It's the 24th for me. So not Nillock is in saying a stupid question. No, it's not a stupid question. I just quickly glanced at it. Does this game distinguish itself from Stellaris enough to own both? Absolutely. Yeah, that's a great question, actually. No, it's not a stupid question. So, no, so I get this question a lot. It's actually, but it's a very, very good question because like Stellaris is sort of like is the king of space 4Xs. You know, like it's the one that everyone is familiar with, everyone plays. You've also then got, of course, Galactic Civilizations 4. You've got what is it? My mind's gone blank. There's a few of them. Interstellar Space Genesis. ISG as well. So you've got a whole lot of different games. The thing with with Stellaris, ISG, Galaxy 4, they're all games. That won't make much sense me just sort of saying that, but they're much more like playing a board game, but on a computer, where there's a lot of abstraction with the way that the game actually works. So essentially, what you've got is you're playing almost like a higher level sort of top-down view where you're managing things in a big way, and so your resources become globalized. Your fleets, you're not really controlling individual ships or anything like that. So you're sort of doing all those sorts of things in those sorts of games where you are gaming a game. This game is very, very different. This is very much more a strategy. Sorry, it's a simulation game where nothing much is abstracted. The one thing that is abstracted through the top here is your money. So the cash is an abstracted global resource, but all the other resources, and I forget how many resources. I'm thinking of even games sort of like Sins of a Solar Empire 2. It's only got two resources. They're globalized, crystal and metal. I think Stellaris has only got a handful of those, but then some special ones that are sort of then coming on top of that one. Gal Civ is the same, with just very limited resources to sort of go and do anything. This game has got, I think, 27 basic resources and another 30, 40 odd luxury resources, and they all play a role. The luxury resources, not so much. They don't feel as special as the construction resources, but managing all those resources, they're not just globalized. You don't see like a list of your resources anywhere, because every single one of those resources is on a world. Like if we go to this human world that we have, that we control back and through here, so this is it back and through this other side, we can then sort of see that this world itself has actually got it's got 20 resource shortages. If I click on that one, it just keeps it open. And so this is all of the different resources, not in the game, but this is the ones that we actually currently are using in our current level of development. So we've got, in this case, and the game, because it's so deep as a simulation, the game has to rely a lot on automation. So you can automate absolutely everything. So it looks overwhelming when you actually look at it, but you pick and choose what you're going to play and what you're going to let an AI helper actually help you with. And so and this is what the policy is that we've got over through here. So I'll be tweaking this to have the AI look after what I want them to do with certain things. So this is very, very powerful. And you can go from complete automation where you don't have to do anything at all, you just watch the game, through to and no one ever plays it, where you've actually got, where it's just fully micromanage everything. It's too big for that. The game is way too big. But this one world, this is actually the stuff it has. So we've got fuel. Caslon is the fuel in the game. And you can see down through here, it's asking the actual to the maintenance. This is a stock level to maintain the resource at this location. It's asking for 12,000, but there's 81,000 here, so we're above what we need. So that's actually coming through as sort of like a yellowy green sort of colour. Back and through, I'm a bit colour blind. I can't really sort of tell exactly what's going on there, but it's with the colours. But with the and it just gives you a bit of a rundown. So, for example, reserved, the amount of this resource is reserved for construction or other uses at this location. So we're not reserving any of it. Other is the amount of resources that is reserved for pickup by the empires, that is, that have purchased these resources, and a freighter will soon pick up these up for transport. This is actually a key for us playing as the actual faction that we're playing. We're a mercantile guild. And it's sort of a bit of a nasty one, a little bit like the Mercantile Guild from Star Wars. So we're actually, and so some other groups have come in to pick up 617 tons of fuel, and so it's reserved for them because they've paid for it. And so there's going to be ships coming in to pick up that particular fuel. Sources is telling us how many we're aware of in the galaxy. So we've got known locations, 194 individual locations for the fuel, and we're mining 64 of those. So includes foreign locations from trade agreements. So with trade agreements we have with other people, that includes the amount that we can then bring in to this particular world. That's the cost to buy it, and that's the cost we sell it to. So we sort of got like a buy-sell thing. Now, again, we don't even think about this. It just is part of the game itself. This is the construction resources down through here. So as I start to sort of scroll through, we've got a heap of them. And again, we've got an amount that we're trying to keep on the world itself. And you can see there that there's some that... we can go above what that's got there. So this carbonite, we've got more than what we can really sort of cope with there. So these are all the different construction resources that we sort of see down through this world. We're looking for red ones. Then we have the luxury resources, which boost the development of the world itself, which then boosts the tax so that it can then, the development boosts what the world will then create, like in terms of the workers on the world. The workers will then sort of generate like an overall resource. Those resources are then taxed, and we then take the money from the tax. So we actually get the tax on their world. Each world has got an individual taxation amount, and again, it's one of those things where the world itself is sort of just, it's automated. So the AI will just govern the world for us because it's too much micromanagement to sort of do it yourself. But the game still is needing all of these resources at this location to be able to build anything, and also it needs all these resources at this location to be able to push the development as high as it can possibly go. So that's sort of where the luxury resources then kick in. And so what we'll see is we've got a few zero on hand. So when we see the red number down through this other side, this is then showing us that they're asking for 315 tons of Atarian fur, of which there's currently 0. Now, there's 6 sources of that we actually have somewhere, either foreign-owned or our own one, coming back into this particular world. You can see there, when it's got this one, we're actually mining Bifurian silk. That will be one of the locations that we have through here. There we go. So, in this particular silk, for example, gives a plus 7% to the colony development, and also plus 1% to colony income. So that's our development in through there. And so you can see, it's a bit hard to see it there because I've got this other thing over the top. There's looks like it's 94% of that 145 is coming from the luxury goods that we actually have in through this other side. So just from this is just one little aspect of why this game is so different to all the others. It's then got the whole big long list. The one that we really want to be trying to get out to these worlds is Zentabia fluid. When you can see down through there, it's already got some Zentabia fluid here, more than what it's asking for, which is awesome because that pushes up our colony development, this level through here, up to plus 24%. And so this is actually, this really, really pushes it up high, which means that we sort of can then generate more. It also impacts the colony happiness by plus 10%, which means we can tax them more. So the taxation level on this world, just from that one resource, is this Zentabia fluid and these sort of super resources will ultimately then push the planet into areas where you get so much more money coming back. I didn't realise that we'd already have Zentabia fluid already shipped back out into this particular location. So that's sort of like, just from a planetary perspective, that's sort of how that one works. If I try to go into this particular spaceport, for example, and then go into build new ship or base, I can build everything because I've got all the resources that are actually here. But every single one of those ships also then has, if I go into a ship design I'll just go into by role. And so if we have a look, for example, at our destroyer, which is our biggest ship that we can build ourselves, and if we just go into the edit of that particular design, the ship itself is then made up of all these different components in different categories across the ship. So we're using very particular types of beams, and again, different to most of the other games that we've sort of been that we've mentioned. This one's got like a field of fire. So, for example, the weaponry, even on just this particular ship, if there's something coming in from the starboard side, from this side here, this is the back of the ship here. So if they're coming from the starboard side, this particular weapon mount has only got like a range of 180 degrees going out from the starboard side. So it can shoot directly behind it, directly in front, and anything coming from this side. But any ship coming from this side, this large Thuon beam that we actually have through here won't be able to attack that other ship unless the ship changes direction. On the other side over through here, we have a deal breaker beam, which is a different type of beam. These are, again, the weaponry is all very, very particular. You design the ships the way that you want them to go. Like we've got point defense back up and through here, which we need to use against missiles and small craft like fighter craft and things. We've then got the different beams, like I've got a Thuon beam at the front there as well, a Thuon beam over this side, and then a deal breaker beam on this side. The Thuon beams are just large laser beams, which do a lot of base damage, whereas a deal breaker beam is a beam that sort of actually breaks through shields, breaks through armor, and does damage in the hull itself. And so there's a whole lot of other things that happen within the game, but the deal breaker beams are great at actually getting other ships to turn around and try to escape because of the damage it can do in the internal of the ship. Do we have anything else? Yeah, we've only got this point defense at the top there as well. So it's got a medium Thuon beam there as well, just sort of on the top. But this is quite a powerful little destroyer that we actually have going on through here. It's made up of all these different components. But when I hover over any of these components, let's just go to the deal breaker beam. What you'll see through there is it gives you a list of to build this one beam weapon. It costs 24 Osalia, these are all the construction resources, 24 Tiderius, 24 Kaisian crystals, and 24 Mebnar. So that thing gets added to the actual build queue of the ship itself. And so individual ships then actually have their own resource limits, or the resource amounts. And so there's our, was it Kaisian crystal that we needed there? Yeah, 24 Kaisian crystal, 24 Osalia. So just to build this one beam is adding on the actual amounts that it requires. So this one requires a heap of polymer, a lot of steel, aculon. So a lot of the actual resources are all very particular. Like this weapon through here, this large Thuon beam has got uses krypton, argon, and cuprica. So it just uses different sorts of materials. So none of this is abstracted. They have to be at the location to build one of these ships. So that one could be built in through this other side. So that's sort of where we are with that one. If I just go and cancel that, there's all sorts of work. I don't know if we'll be rebuilding ships in this particular run, but there's a lot involved even in just sort of building ships. Again, the AI can do that for you if you want it to. So you're not really monitoring it, but you've got to be aware. And all these little these ships with the round circle around them, like when I zoom out, anything that's just a round dot, these are going to be traders. So you can see through here, this one is actually transporting cargo from Kadesh 2 mining station. We don't control these, by the way. So this one here is jumping at the moment. So it's jumping off to go to Kadesh 2 mining station and then bring it back to Matrani 3. If we go back out and have a look and see where it's actually going, it's moving across here to Kadesh 2. Kadesh 2 has got a mining station on it. So this is Kadesh 2 in through here. This mining station is mining this particular weld. And so it's picked up, it's got like 12,000 of the Scalian brandy and some silicon as well. So it's been told by that planet, I need whatever it might be, whatever the resource is. And so it's now got an order to go back and pick up goods from there and then take it back to the world. So, and again, we don't control that. If I zoom back out, we'll sort of see that there'll be like a whole heap of these little round ships that are all off doing different things. This one is transporting from the Garilet mining station back to Matrani 3, for example. So it's actually moving, it's got nothing on board in its cargo just yet. It's moving all the way down to this particular world. Now, this is not, yes, we do control this world. So there's a luxury resources in here, I think, that we actually took this over in the war. And so there's some stuff on this world that it wants to go and pick up. So it's actually going all the way out to that particular moon to then go and pick up some goods to bring it back to Matrani 3. So this is sort of like, this is where the game is just unbelievable, really, just the scope of what it does do. Ships that are circular with little crosses through them are passenger ships. So these are, so this is now sort of coming back through. It's transporting like passengers across somewhere. So that's actually from Matrani 3 to Holiday Encounters. We can make money by through resorts and things like that as well. That's a mining ship. This one's, see, it's on a different angle. This one is these ones again just automatically go off and mine locations and then come back to their home world. So it's a very, very complex game compared to Stellaris and any of the other games. The other games are, as I said before, they're sort of like wars tend to play out in a very particular way. For us, wars play out in a very realistic way because of the resources involved, because of the the fog of war. We don't get to see everything. We don't know which ships are going to be coming out from at us. Which, I mean, the other games have got fog of war, of course, but we tend to have much more limited scope when we do go to war. And so a war might be, for example, the last war that I played out against this faction was I had my minimum to win it was to get hold of that Zentabia planet there, which is unique in the game. So I wanted to get that one was my first priority. My second priority was to take over this world, and so I did an invasion but failed. I failed the invasion. They actually had their own invasion fleets which were coming back in. The third priority I had in this particular war was to try to take over as many of the mining stations in their home world so that they would have to then buy those resources from me because I'm a trading nation. And so you can see there that they control all of these mining stations, but we did pick up some of them. Like we did pick up, for example, this particular mining station. Now this is going to put pressure on them, but what they will have to then go and do is if they want those resources, they're going to have to buy them from me. So it means that we sort of are doing trade, but through nefarious means. So that war then finished. We did get hold of what we needed to. Didn't get hold of the world. Did get hold of some of the resources in here, which means that we should start to generate a lot of money from them. So and same sort of dealing through here. At this point in time, I'm too far away from their home world to try to put pressure on them for that. So my main goal in this particular playthrough is to protect my holdings down through here, protect my holdings out through this other side as well, which we've had a few fights trying to sort of do that, but then to take over this largest human world in through here. There's other worlds which are just very, very small, and I'm not going to worry about them. It just means that you've then got to look after them. So they've got a few different worlds, but that's the world that I want more than anything at this point in time. And this is their home world. So their home worlds are a long way away. But if I can get hold of that world, that will be a productive world. These worlds here will be a drain on your economy. So they're just there mainly for expansion, but I don't want them. So anyway, that's sort of a bit of a summary as to why this game is different to Stellaris and why it's just an unbelievable game. Now, where people get their where this one does people's heads is the fact that it looks like, because the scope is so big and because everything is sort of done this way, it's they think that it's a micromanagement hell, and it's really not. It's like, I don't like micromanagement, like to big degrees. I like complexity, but I don't like I don't like to be doing all the different bits and pieces. So most of the game is set up through your policies, through automation. And so these are your policy settings. This is all the automation in the game. And if we have a look at this one, the first one is like a summary of the most important things. And so you've typically got like 4 classes of things, either from fully automated, where the AI doesn't even talk to you about it, it just looks after stuff. So that's full automation. You've then got one where it makes a suggestion. It'll appear on the right-hand side here saying, hey, I think you should do such and such. If I don't hear from you in a minute, I'm going to just do it. So this is suggest and execute. We then actually have most things you'll see are in this category, suggest, which is where The AI will then make a suggestion, and then if I don't, I have to say yes for it to go and do it. So I've left most things on that. Not that it's not going to sort of ask me too many different things, but it's making suggestions, and at that point I will then just say yes or no, or manual, where it doesn't even ask you the question. So there's certain things where I've got the policy turned on. I've just left it on this suggest mode. You can see down through here, like with with building troops, it's automate troop recruitment facility generating at the colonies of your empire. So we can control that one. It does have that on suggest, and I'm thinking you've also got these you've sort of got like these different things you can then go and do as well. I always start on default and then sort of tweak from that point, so you can just go and tweak them at any stage. So so in through here, it's all on suggest. I've got tax rates are on automation, ship construction I'm doing manually, base construction. I don't want them to ask me questions of where to build mining stations, so I've put that onto automatic. Repairing ships, I want it to ask me. Research is automated, but I do go in and override it. So if I forget to override the research, it will then just look after it. What else have we got through here? Character locations is on automatic, but I can override that as well. So when I've got a character that I want to have in a particular location, I will then just change that character to manual control, and I just let them do all the other bits and pieces. Intelligence missions are with our spies. I'm just leaving that on auto as well. You can again get in the middle of that. A lot of people actually play the game and have that on manual because they really, really enjoy that. I don't, but people do. So you can play it whichever way you want. Artifacts as well. So this is actually automate the movement of artifacts to their optimal location, or control this area manually. We haven't really found any artifacts yet in the game, but it just goes on and on. Like, so for example, even gifts, I'm leaving this one on suggest. If that gets annoying, I move that to manual. Treaties, I'm leaving that purely on manual for me to look after. They've got diplomacy and war is going to be suggestion, so it'll tell you, look, I think we should end the war or whatever. I tend to let that happen just so I can see what they're thinking. Got all these different bits and pieces as well. So troop recruitment is on automation for the actual planets themselves. But then I've got things like all the fleet stuff is where I really enjoy playing the game. So I've actually got all of these set to manual, so that doesn't get in the middle of what I'm doing. But then there's deeper levels as well of the automation. So that's sort of like just a basic sort of overview of the automation for the game itself. For the for what I'm looking for is, I think under my military tab, this is again just different things where the AI will then sort of have, how it sort of is then going to be working things out. Like its war missions are going to be suggested to me. The attack overmatch factor. Again, the tooltips are great because it tells you exactly what's going on in through here. One of the things with the game as well, like a lot of people when they started playing the game, actually even people who played it a lot, well, you'll often see complaints on Steam about just how how it's too difficult to manage the automation. They've changed that so it pops up in the pop-ups now to tell you what the automation setting is as to why it's popping up there, which is actually really good because you can just click a button and change it if you don't like it. But there's a lot you can do in through here. Now we've changed a few of these things about capturing ships, just so we sort of try to maintain some of our assault squads on the actual ships themselves, so we can then go and take over other locations. In this base here, just leave all these things on. I was just looking for the. It's not there actually. I thought there was something in here to do with the monitoring stations, fleets, research, intelligence missions. So this is where if the AI gets involved with what they do. Now, because I've got bases on automation, the monitoring stations, when they get built, will also be on automation. And what I want to do is I want to turn them down to a low focus. Now, that's that's getting the stuff. I can't remember where it is. Construction. It might be in here. So we've got, here we go. This is now, when we get the monitoring stations, we're also going to get defense bases. So when they come through, I don't want them to be a high priority. I want these to just be placed around a little bit. So I'm going to change them to a low priority item. And same with my defense bases when we get them. I don't want them all over the place because it's going to drain my money. So I don't, because we pay maintenance on those. Everything else, though, I'm just going to leave back on normal at this point in time. So that will mean that when it tries to build a base, it will look at this priority and say, okay, monitoring stations don't need to go everywhere. We can just sort of leave them so that they just get interspersed a little bit, just so we've got coverage, and that's all I want. And same with the defense bases. If I leave them on normal, we're going to end up with defense bases all over the place, and again, we'll be paying a lot of maintenance for those. So I'm just trying to keep the maintenance levels down. But again, you don't have to do this. I'm just doing that as one of the policy changes that we're going to be then sort of handling for our faction. So to answer that question, yes, it is complex, but it is very, very different to Stellaris. It plays very, very differently, incredibly. But so it's a good question. It's a question always worth asking and answering because it's like the game looks incredibly complex when you look at it from an overview like that, but I'm really only managing the fleets. That's all I'm really doing at this point in time, and just overriding certain things that the AI is going to do anyway. So let's unpause again and we'll just watch this one go in. I'll try to show, here we go. This is actually exactly what I wanted to show with the automation. So this is accept a war mission, capture an enemy mining station. So military strategists have analysed the situation in our war against the Shiite Unity. Now, this is actually a group that was subjugated by the Quamenos, who we're mainly at war with. And they've actually thought that the Boileen 2 mining station of the Shiite Unity swarm would be worth us trying to take over. And so this is like a war mission that we actually have. So it's made the suggestion about this. This is the way a suggestion comes through. And it's then if we get it, we're going to get a war score of plus 10,000, which at the moment we've got nothing against them, and increase the enemy war weariness by minus 0.1. Now we're currently going at -3, which is not great. This actually then impacts our whole economy, so we have to be careful with war weariness. And we can accept it, but down the bottom through here, this has actually now just been added into the game. And I can sort of show you why that has. The game actually gets negative reviews because people don't really understand the depth and really what you can do with the automation in the game. Not so much the depth, that makes it sound complex. But what this now tells you is war missions is set to suggest. So it's telling me, instead of having to go all the way back to my policy settings, back over through here, and then find find that particular war missions one, which is under military, I think. Was it under? Yeah, war missions is set to suggest. So rather than having to go all the way back into there to find it, it might be under advisors as well. Maybe not. Oh yeah, there it is there. So same thing there as well. So rather than knowing that I've got to go back there, if I'm getting sick of these, and this is not a good example, but if I'm getting sick of messaging that's coming through, if there's a lot coming through, I can change the way that they come through. And it's saying down through here, I can actually cycle through this one. So all missions are set to suggest, click to cycle to the next setting. So if I go and click on that button through there, it will then set it to manual, so I'll push it back one. If I click on it again, it will then be set to fully automated. And if I click on it again, it's going to be suggest and execute. But I want it to be just to suggest. That's all I want it to be, so I don't want it to change. I can then go and view all the automation settings in the policy screen. If I go and click on that one, it opens it up for me and then just opens up the policy screen. Because I think that they found that people were just really struggling with just getting their head around the automation. And so by putting it in here, it means that if something comes up you don't like messaging that you want to change, you can then just change it on the fly. But in this case, I do want it on suggest. I'm going to accept that war mission through there. So I tend to play it on paused a lot when I'm playing the game. That's another thing with the game. You can play it up to 8 times speed. I never really go above 1 time speed, and I tend to play it on half speed when I'm actually doing big fights, just so I can sort of see what's going on. The game, there's so much that goes on in the game that you run the risk of it just becoming a boring thing where you miss a lot of the nuance that goes on. So at 1 times speed, for me, it's very, very comfortable. Like it's to sort of play the game. But I've noticed other people who stream the game tend to play it on at least 4 times speed. It's not, for me, you miss out on so much nuance with what does go on, and immersion. I really love the immersion in the game. Anyway, these ships are coming in. We've got some frigates which are out in front. The frigates, again, I can have a look and see what they're made up of. So this is the actual class that we have in through here. Much more cut down than what our destroyers were. We've only got like 3 slots in through here. We have an iron cannon on the port side. So the iron cannon is a disabling weapon. We have the deal breaker beam on the other side, on the starboard side, and then we've got the sentinel sort of point defense weapon at the front through here. So this one will be cutting through ships. This one will be disabling ships, and this one will be protecting the actual ship itself. So it's coming down in towards, and this is actually the various ranges that we see through here as well, including the range of the, so if I go and hover over this area through here, the assault pods have got like a fairly large range. Once the shielding is down, we can then use them for capture. And then we've got the other different weapons with the different colours. So we can see down through there, the red is going to be, the deal breaker beam should be, in fact I think that is the deal breaker beam. It might be the deal breaker beam there, this long range, I think. So so that's what we're sort of seeing through that side. Iron cannon is this little one back in through there. The sentinel is one of these two as well, and I think that's the assault pod range. And so with our actual ships, you can see down through here we also then have the assault strength in through here of 103. So we've got Marines on board these ships. If we go and press all of the second, we've got a full boarding assault strength of 3,000, which is very, very high. And so these guys are going to first of all come into this particular station. This is just a mining station. It's going to hardly have any defences at all. It does have some torpedoes, a blaster, and then a repeating blaster. So it can protect itself a little bit. But we need to get its shielding down, which is this outer layer of the onion. Is this 880 is its shield strength. Inside that is its armor strength, and inside that is its hull strength. And so inside the hull is where all of the stuff, all the components actually then work. With that one selected, I can then see down on the right hand side, I can't click on it and leave it up there, but again you see the summary of shields of 880. Armor is actually split into 2. We've got a 78 and a 78 with the armor, so there's two lots of armor in through there, and then the hull 100%. Inside the hull or around the hull, we have you can see it's got a mount, normal, damaged, destroyed, and disabled. Iron weapons will do the disabling. As things go and become damaged, they'll then end up sort of in that orange column. As they take too much damage, they'll then be destroyed and they can't be repaired. So they need to have a repair ship come out and actually repair them for it. If they're damaged, the repair crews on board will actually then work and try to fix up the componentry. But you can see down through there, they've got 3 weapons, 4 defences. Now that will be 2 armour and 2 shielding, I would guess. 1 sensor is on board as well. They've got small craft, 2 hangars, so we're going to be we're going to have to fight off some small ships. We'll have a look and see if we can find those, when in the space. It can be a bit hard to locate because they're so small. And then we have it in the general area, like 15 different things on there. They'll be like, and again, we can have a look and see what these actually are. This is the general area in the ships. There's 15 of these. They've got fuel cells, they've got reactors, cargo bays for storage, large mining engine for actually mining the planet, the command center, which is like a bridge, 2 crew systems to sort of manage all of the different bits and pieces. They've got themselves like bubble shields down through here. This is the armor, and two lots of what's called block armor and 2 bubble shields. This is a very advanced faction, by the way, like in terms of its tech. Starfield generator is just a small. This is essentially like a bit of a countermeasures thing, just to help protect the actual station. It's got 2 docking bays. It doesn't have small craft. The docking bays are for the so the hangars are not offensive hangars. These are trading hangars. So these are areas where the cargo ships can come in and actually just dock and pick up the cargo much more quickly, rather than sort of transporting it through space. So that's sort of what we're actually up against. So there won't be small craft. These little things are here mining the planet. All right. So in we come. Now you'll notice that the red is further out, so it will be firing its missiles every so often. What's torpedo? Epsilon torpedo will be the one of the long ones, and so we'll see that come in fairly soon. Yeah, there goes a torpedo there. So the torpedoes fire every, well, I forget how many seconds they actually are. They fire at, it's got 2 shots per volley, and a volley fire rate of every quarter second. They can fire 2 torpedoes, and but the actual firing rate is every 12 seconds. They will fire 1 volley, and so this one here has got like two torpedoes being fired a quarter of a second apart. There goes the second one. Now what we see, I'll just talk a little bit about how this is sort of now working. This ship is now firing, this yellow beam that we see through here is now trying to intercept the Epsilon torpedo as it comes in close to our ship. And we can see it's actually intercepted that with its point defense weaponry. That point defense weapon on there also then has a cooldown. This one has got a firing rate every 8 seconds. So essentially, sorry, intercept a firing rate every 2 seconds. So in like after 2 seconds, it's going to be able to then fire again and try to hit the next one. Now, if the next ship behind it and once it actually hits this rim through here, it will then use its point defense weapon to try to take it out as well. Let's just watch and see what actually happens. So it's now hit there, and this one is now hitting with the actual overall big beam. This is the deal breaker beam being attacking onto the actual station itself. And we can see down through here, it's now gone from 880 down to, all of these numbers have now been changed a little bit. So it's gone through the shield. The shield has dropped a little bit, and it's now actually hit the actual hull, just for a small amount of damage coming into the hull. The deal breaker beam is like a hot butter knife, essentially cutting through butter. So a hot knife through butter, and it will cut through the ship itself. Like it's a very, very powerful weapon. Now we don't actually have the point defense for this one just yet. We'll just watch what actually happens in here. There we go. Actually, it just did use its point. It just happened to get the 2 seconds back out again, and then fired at that one. So it didn't get through. This one through here is the other weapon type that this one has got. And if we have a look through this is the Maxos blaster. It might be the buckler repeating blaster, because we're now sort of inside that range as well. The buckler repeating blaster is a point defense weapon, but I think that may be the Maxos blaster, and it actually now hit our ship, and we took a little bit of shield damage. So, and that's all that really happened with that particular weapon. It didn't break through the shielding. There is a chance that the shields will fail, and this is also a big factor in what we have to do with combat. So if the shields fail, the damage will then bleed through onto the armor, and there's a percentage again. If we have a look at these Corvidian shields, you can see down there shield penetration chance of 15%. So essentially, what's it, about a 1 in 7 chance of a shot getting through, and then it's got a shield penetration ratio, meaning that whatever the damage is that's in that particular weapon, it will do 40% of that will then do damage to the next layer, which in this case would be the armor. So the simulation in the game is extremely high, again, compared to the other games. There's no real abstraction with this. It's all simulated. Next deal breaker beam firing in again. So we hit it again, and we're now sort of doing a bit more damage. You can see down through there now one of the cargo bays has now been damaged. So that deal breaker beam has actually cut through the base, and actually has now done some damage to a hangar, just with that one through there. More ships coming in. Now again, point defense weaponry, and they both missed. Now, unless it's aiming for this particular ship, I don't think it would be. No, that's just missed, that's all. So there's a chance that they will miss. Now here comes yeah, that's the frigate again, sorry, that's the first one. You can see there another deal breaker beam coming in from here. The deal breaker beams take a long time to spool up, and we'll start to see damage now done to the actual base itself. I mean, it's not the most exciting fight, but it still illustrates the way that ships then sort of work in combat. So they're coming through. They're trying to get rid of the shielding so they can then put their assault squads on board. Yeah, we've still only got the one hangar which has been damaged, and they're firing their other beams, like the iron cannons. That one missed. Here comes the big destroyers now with all of their Thuon beams and things. The big yellow beams, not the small ones, but the big yellow beams. This one here is just a troop transporter, and so it's actually coming in with that does have that captured general on board, so it's imprisoned with the troops. So we just got one troop transport with flying with them, just in case there's opportunity. Not that we really need it that much. We did use one of these, for example, to take that other world, like the Zentabia fluid world. But this one here, we can see that the shielding is now starting to drop away. And the main reason for that is that we've actually now got the other beam weapons now coming in from these from this particular destroyer. So the destroyer has got the Thuon beams, 2 Thuon beams and a medium Thuon beam. So 2 large and 1 medium. That's going to just cut straight through into the actual shielding itself. And we can see down through here now, both hangars have now been damaged. The sensor is now out, so it's not going to have countermeasures anymore at this point in time. And one of the weapons is also now failing because of the deal breaker beams that are cutting through. Let's just keep on watching. The little little white or cyan ones that fly through are the iron cannons, which are important because they will hopefully disable parts of the ship. And if we can disable their shields, we'll then be able to get our troops on board. There goes other weapons sort of firing in. And we can just watch what happens in through here. The shields are trying to be replenished. The bubble shields that these guys have are very, very strong. This is a ship that's just happened to wander in. This is a small freighter, and it's just been smashed. So it's sort of happened to have come into the field of fire, and so it's going to have to try to jump away from here. It's trying to escape now. The goal here now is to drop the shielding. As soon as the shielding drops, these are the assault crews that are now going back into the ship, and so the fleet is now sending in an assault team. So and we'll see them actually arrive. There they are there now, and so we've got 1,700 squads that have now sort of hit this particular ship. What they will do is you'll now start to see in the disabled column, they'll now run through the ship to try to take it over, but they'll also disable all of the componentry in the ship as they do it. So we no longer need to be firing at this ship. I'm going to tell the second fleet now, because we now have the Marines on board. I'm just going to go and get the second. And I've still got 1,200 boarding assault strength, so I don't want to send all of them in. I'm going to go and now tell it to go and take this luxury retreat as well. So we're going to go and capture that as well. So we'll just go and give it the order. They should then stop attacking this one and not send any more troops on board, because this one will be taken over. We've got enough troops on here to be able to push off their defenders. So they've got like a defense there of 477. We'll just keep on watching this and just watch what actually happens here in that disabled column. See how as things are happening, the disabled column is coming up. So in the general slot, there's something that's been disabled. If we go and have a look inside, large mining engine has been disabled for 23 seconds. So the crew are now running through the ship, and they will just will find that there's more and more. There's now one of the weapons has been disabled, another of the general slots. So as they go through, and they'll just push these guys away. And we're no longer firing at it because it's basically going to be taken over very, very quickly. And you can see down through there already 9 of the most of the stuff has now been disabled by the assault squads. And again, I'm not telling them to do anything; they're just doing it. And then we'll eventually take this one over. There we go. So Tolkien 3 mining station has been boarded and captured. So so that's fine. That just gets added into our little war score up through here as well. And then we have under attack. One of our destroyers is yeah, that was old, so we can just remove that one. They will now move around the. Here we go. We've got ourselves a part of the defence force. So this is actually now a the 4th Defence Force is now coming back into the actual into where we are. So they're coming in to attack the Matrani shield, which will be one of the ships. That's it there. And so this is actually a heavy escort, just one of our little heavy escorts, which are the smallest of the ships that we've got. So I'm going to go and grab the second now and tell it to go and kill off this ship, which should be part of a bigger fleet. So we don't have long-range scanner, so we don't know what's going on. But if I go and click on this and go to the 2nd Defence Force, that's us. Where's the 4th? Not seeing it there. Normally when you do it, when you hover out, if I zoom in a little bit, we can also then sort of pick up different ships. Like there's an escort there, a couple of escorts. So there's a few different ships now coming back in, and this one is not part of any fleet. No, it's not part of any fleet. There's a frigate, which is part of the 4th Defence Force. So we're not seeing what the 4th Defence Force actually is. So actually, here they come. They're coming in from different angles, back over there, but we're down in here. So what we'll do is we'll actually just get the 2nd and now just go and kill this thing off. So I'm just going to tell it to go and attack the Jotunheim Intimidator. Now it's also attacking the ships. Is it attacking this as well? It may be trying to attack this as well. So when we come through, this is now, you can see there that we've cut through again everything with the deal breaker beam, and actually have gone into the hull, but we haven't actually damaged anything in the hull itself. You know, it's really copping it hard. But their shielding is incredibly strong. One of its engines is down, one of its weapons is down. Just got to stop it before it jumps. So as we sort of keep on having a look at it, it will start to jump soon. It's very hard for us to stop these ships because their shielding is just so powerful. Just standing in the fight at the moment. You can see that it's still doing it. Now it's trying to jump. It's trying to escape. So it's lost enough of its power to jump away. The deal breaker beam, because it does so much damage, the internals will actually force these ships to jump, and so we should now start to see more damage in the general slots. And that's usually a trigger once one of the general slots gets damaged. That's usually when ships will start to jump away. Just got to stop it from jumping. Actually, here we go. What's actually happened through here now is that the reactors have now gone offline. So we've actually now done we've got 3 damage on the internals. One of them will be the reactor. So when we have a look at it, the Nova Core reactor is, this is again just showing the simulation side of the game. If you've got the Nova Core reactor knocked out, it means that it can't power up any of the critical elements in the ship itself. And so we have all of the stuff about the ship is actually in through here. So we can sort of see what's going on. So the Jerax hyperdrive, which is a hyperdrive for it to escape, is fine. Its status is normal. But the Nova Core reactor, which feeds that, is down to 65% health. This thing can no longer jump. Even though it's trying to jump, it can't do it. When we hover down through here, we'll then see the energy ratings of what can actually happen with the actual ship itself. And at the moment, there's no energy anywhere in the ship. And so you can see there there's an energy collection rate of 50, which is sort of like just getting power from the suns. Reactor storage capacity at the moment 0 because it's been knocked out. Its output is 0. Static energy usage is 32.7, which means that the excess energy usage is minus 32.7. Static energy is not static. It's like static electricity. It's static energy is sort of what it takes to keep the lights running on the ship itself. On top of that, you then actually have other things. So, for example, this one here has got the overall output. Usually, it's on 0 at this point in time. You can see their reactor energy output is 0. Static energy usage is 32.7. The cruise speed energy use is 2.5. But typically what happens in combat is you'll be going to top speed energy usage there of 3.6. The shield recharge energy usage is 16, so it can't recharge its shields. The weapon energy usage is 0, so it doesn't need energy to fire its weapons. Based on what have they got there? Actually, it should do. Well, they're all down. The weapons are all down, so that's why it's on 0 at this point in time. And so the energy overuse there is 52.4, which it can't use because it doesn't have anything. So it actually is actually like it's worse than what we're seeing up through here. There's a second one as well, which doesn't show up at this point because it's all out. To then use the other to be able to escape. So this thing is not going to be able to escape. So what I could do is I could use the leftover troops to capture this ship if I wanted to, and it's good enough. The ship is actually good enough. There's only one sensor has been destroyed, so we're going to be able to repair everything. So I'm going to tell the second to go and capture this ship now. So capture the Jotunheim. So let's just go and send the rest of the troops in to capture that particular ship. Now this will it will then, so hopefully that will then sort of work. They're still firing on it, so there could still be damage done to it. But we should see all sorts of little troops now come across this particular ship as well. The reason I want this ship is I want to disassemble the bubble shields. I don't know if I've got much of that. If we go back into our technology and just go back up into the reactors, so you can see down through there, fusion ignition is the Nova core reactors. These are incredible reactors. So we've actually stolen that tech from the Quameno anyway. So this is a Quameno only tech. So we didn't actually steal it from them. Somebody else stole it from them, and then we stole it from, I think it might have been the Mortallans that we stole that tech from. But that's actually their reactor. So we've already got their reactors. If we go back up to their, that's all the weapons. Where is the shielding? Here we go. This is the shielding down through here. Now the bubble shields are so much better than the shields that we actually have access to. So I would like to get hold of them. Like if I can somehow get them. So what I want to do with this ship is pull it apart for pieces, like for for getting things. We've got an energy conversion there. That's the quantum engines. We've already got the Stellaris engines, which I'm happy with, so I don't need these other engines. But this is sort of like where we can steal things. We've got hybrid thrusters there, which we could actually go and get. We're a long way along with this one here. This is the vector engine, which is even better again. That's worth thinking about because we've picked up so much tech from that one already, just through capturing ships and through pulling apart stuff. We've almost got the orbital hive defenses as well to get the hive fighter base from the Gizarians. So we've sort of got our spies are doing a lot of this sort of heavy lifting for us, but we're also we can pull apart ships to find tech as well. So yeah, we'll just keep. I think that's fine. We'll just exit the research. We don't have any bubble shielding just yet. So this will be our first capture, I think. I don't think we've captured any other ships of theirs. No, we've got bases now captured. Here we go. Troops on board. It's going to be over and done with very, very quickly. So their fight is now going on board. And it's now ours, but where the hell is it? Did it self-destruct somewhere? I don't think it would have. There it is. It's back over here. So it's so that's now one of our ships, and reactor is currently still offline. You can see there that there's still all the damage now has to be repaired on this particular ship, and so the repair crews will be going through. So there is actually going to be a damage control unit which is operating, and so they'll go through and start to repair all the stuff in the ship. And in the meantime, what I can do is I can go and tell the ship to. It's got no mission. I'll just go back and grab that one again. What I want to do is I want to sort of send it back. I can't do much there. I'll send this one to manually controlled. But I need it to. I don't want it to retrofit. I want to pull this one apart for tech, but it's not showing me there. Normally, you can actually then go and sort of scuttle them, or do what you want to do. Let's just leave it there for a second. I'm going to just give it an order to move back. It's got no fuel. I'm going to tell it to move back into the Matrani system, which is so I'm going to send it back home. If I do a long right click, I can retire a Matrani 3. Let's just go and do that. So this will then be pulled apart for its pieces. So that's its job now, is to go back there. So it will try to move back there slowly over time, which is fine. So that's now sort of been that's now going. If we go back to the second, we no longer have any boarding assault strength, and that'll take some time for that one to come back up. So what I'll do is I'm just going to go back around and destroy these different things. Actually, I won't get that one. We had other ships that had come back up into here. So there's a small world there. It's probably being built. Let's just go and attack these. We'll just keep this group raiding in this location. In the meantime, our other fleets are still sort of making their way back. These are pirates. I'll accept that trade for now. Incoming fleet detected. So the 28th Strike Force is on an attack in towards the Seng system. Seng 2 mining station. Now we already have a fleet waiting there for them. So you can see there's a lot of different enemy fleets now sort of inside our area of space that we can see with our long-range scanners. The first fleet is still moving back out to get ready for the main attack. So in through here, incoming fleet detected. Yep, that's okay. We'll just dismiss that because we're already there. The Bloodclaw Force, we just actually, they just sold us some information which we don't really need, but it's trying to keep friendly with the pirates. So this group is the 28th coming back in now. So we now know it's coming back into the Seng 2 mining station. The fleet that's here, this is the 5th Strike Force, and so it is slowly refueling up at the moment. So it's going to be this is Seng 2, and this one is also attacking Seng 2 mining station. So it's going to arrive right on top of us. We also have a pirate ship that's actually out through here. This is the Forceful Serpent, which is a pirate frigate. This is actually a pirate group, the Red Council. If I go and click on the Red Council, they're neutral with us. We are, we're not actually attacking them. They're not attacking us as such. So we have neutrality with them, which is fine. I thought we had a non-attack treaty with them. Anyway, we've got a few friendly pirates, and I thought that was one of them. Anyway, that's okay. Well, let's leave it go. It's also moving in. Now, this is actually back in the Xanthar 1. If we just go back to show me, this is a what's that fleet there? First Fleet. First Fleet is now just arriving back there. Oh, they're bouncing through. That's what this is. They're on a they just happen to bounce into the system and are now continuing on their merry way. So this particular ship is should be jumping, but it happened to jump near a mining station, an enemy mining station. The others should all be still continuing on their way as well. So we're sort of spread out with different ships that are jumping across into the Takama system. So anyway, let's watch this attack go in. These other ships are sort of coming back. The third fleet is just coming back in for basic repairs, and then it can then go in and help as well. We're leaving this open now. These unknown ships are going outside of our long-range scanner range, which is, if I turn that on, that's long-range scanners. It's just now starting to get outside of our long-range scanning range out through there. And so we're missing out on seeing, but they're going off to attack a moon over in here, which has nothing to do with us. Just turn them off. All right, let's watch this fight go in. So we're getting more and more ships refueled. Here they come. So this is now a small raiding force coming back in to attack that particular moon. Sorry, this particular mining station. This mining station is a Caslon. This is a Caslon planet. So it's a gas mining station, which has got like a lot of fuel on board. We have cargo haulers. This is like a pirate cargo hauler, independent trader. Could be an independent planet that's actually making use of it. But we are sort of coming back in for refueling. So with the fleet that we have through here, the 5th Strike Force, there's still, all the ships have been refueled fairly well, except for this ship here, which is actually currently refueling inside there now. So it's down to 51 fuel. If the fuel runs out, the reactor can't operate, which means we sort of are then out of power yet again. We can still jump. We can get emergency power for the jump, but we can't actually do much. We sort of operate at about like a 1/3 efficiency. But anyway, we've got all the other big destroyers and things ready to go. Let's just watch what actually happens here. Our ships are now automatically targeting these ships. They're firing again with their torpedoes. Deal breaker beams trying to break through again. I think we missed with both of those. So these are again just more frigates. So the 5th force in through here has just got more ships. We're spread out a little bit through here because of the refueling operation. And we have other attacks coming back in. So we've got the 24th Strike Force is going towards the Freusid spaceport. So this is another one where we're actually ahead of the game here. I'm just going to go and just go to show me. This is the spaceport here. This is an ancient spaceport that we fixed up, and we've now got it. It's sort of the main reason I've got this one is because it's sort of in the middle of no man's land out here with a long range. I can see things happening around me, so it's sort of like an early warning for us. It's not critical, but it's now coming in. But we also have the 3rd fleet is also going back there. This small strike force is going to get there just after us. In the meantime, we've still got this attack going in back over this other side. So I'm just going to dismiss that message. Dismiss that one. That was seen too. Actually, the other one was a different location. Yeah, no, they're all okay. Yeah, I think we're okay. The Zolkin. This is actually where we do actually have our attack now going back in as well. So these guys are coming back in just to sort of finish off everything in this particular system. So we'll just keep that sort of thumping along. Let's have a look at this one. Now I haven't given any orders at all at this stage. These ships are now wheeling around to take them on. The 5th is that one's taking damage. Ship here. When its shields drop too much, it will then try to escape. Should be fairly soon. Here comes the other ships. So they're now just standing off and fighting. Different weapons firing on different things from the different ships. We haven't lost enough shielding here to warrant leaving. Looks like they're now trying to jump. This one should try to escape. They're all okay. Hyperdrive is offline here. This one has been, so one of their, the hyperdrive on that particular ship has been damaged at 85%, so it'll take a little bit of time for that one to come back through. The 5th has got a fair bit of boarding assault strength. I'm going to tell it to go and capture this ship. Actually, do we want to do that one? Or do we just want to finish off these other ships? That one there is actually fairly good as well. I might tell it to go and capture this one here. So just get the 5th to just do a long right click and just capture the Courageous Courage. So they've now sent their troops on board. So we've should have almost enough there to warrant that one. Let's now just go back, and they'll start to disable things anyway. And we'll just go back to the we should still have some troops on board here as well. So we'll just go back to the 5th and just tell it to go and capture this as well, the Raging Nova. Hopefully that will be enough to deal with this particular ship. Yeah, we've got enough there. Can we get both? So hyperdrive is still offline, so it can't escape. Now the other ships have escaped. So the 26th Strike Force has got that ship has escaped. Did we capture the other ship? Okay, this is now the asteroid field. We now have the attack going in back in here. We're coming in for repairs. They're also now coming in. This is the third fleet. I don't have to do much. There's heaps of small craft down in here that are coming out of this big carrier that we've got. It's incredibly powerful. So they'll smash these, even though there's some destroyers in here as well. What we might even do is, let's actually have a look. I've never played one of these things out in an asteroid field. We can go back to, for example, this basic bomber here. It's taking a bit of damage. This bomber here. This bomber here has taken a little bit of damage to its shielding. There's a bomber there. If I go, I can't unfortunately control the bridge command, but if I go Shift B, I'm now looking through the bridge of this little fighter. There's nothing pressing, so let's just go and watch this fight from the perspective of this little bomber. So we will line up the ships through the asteroid field. Here we go. This point defense now firing back at it. It's coming back through the ships, past all those ships, and I think it just got destroyed. So it just got destroyed. There was actually that big blue burst that appeared. Is actually one of the weapons that these destroyers will then have on board. Just go down to top-down view and then press tab. And so yeah, that little bomber flew in, and I'm thinking that one of the destroyers ended up, that one there I think, possibly has got like a different type of weapon. Oh no, there's nothing there. I might have come from the starbase. That does cause friendly fire as well. Anyway, they're jumping out of the way. So we'll just go and just do Shift Q. That's northwest, that's west. Just go back to E, just back to the north again. North sort of looking basically at galactic north. Getting one of these would be pretty cool to go and get. It looks like they're all trying to get away from here now, because the third fleet is here and can stop them. So I'll just let the third fleet do its thing. It's still coming back in for repairs, but it will do what it can to destroy those. In the meantime, did we pick up at Seng? Did we actually capture those other ships? This one we're still trying to capture. We don't have very much on board there. Where's the other ship? Just go back to my military ships, because we should have been able to take the other ship as well. I'll just go to ships not in a fleet. Yeah, so we do have the other one as well. This one's on automation. It's going back for retrofits. And what I want it to do is, I don't want it to go back to retrofits at Takama 2. So it's actually already in hyperspace. So it's actually heading back. I'm going to tell it to retire at Missam 1. So this is actually what I was looking for before, this button here. So its job is to retire, and the Jotunheim Intimidator, its job is to also retire, which its reactor is still offline, but it's the one that was way back over here. And so we want it to go to the Matrani system to retire. So we will eventually end up there. Okay, if I do retrofits, all that they'll do is end up just changing across to our type of ship. But I want to find those, but I want to try to get as much of the bubble shielding as we possibly can. Here comes the third now into this location. So it should be the three big ships coming in first. New mining station completed. Dismiss this one. These were the vanguard of the attack on the other side of the on the other front. So it's just switching them across into this area so we can really control this region of space. Do we have war mission? So accept war mission, capture enemy refueling station. This is the Kujos 3 mining station, which, if we have a bit of a look at it, Kujos 3, where's Kujos? I'm not exactly sure where it is. So there it is. That would be good. That would be a good... so there's a mining station in here. There's a refueling station, essentially, back over this other side. So Caslon world that they use for refueling. So I'm going to say yes to that. I'm going to accept that war mission. Because what I can do is I can, even though I don't really want the second to be moving too far out from where they are, because the second is defending all of this down through here as well. Yeah, so I've still got the 7th there. That's probably enough. So what I can do is I can use the second to move off and do other things if I need to. So they're not really doing much at all at this stage. So let's go and move them off. So the second has got no boarding assault strength in through there, but we'll just go across and fulfill that Kujos mission. It was this one up through here, but let's go and attack into here to start with. I can't, until I get my assault strength back up again, I can't do the actual, I can't do the captures. So we'll just come back across, but then we will, by that stage, they should have then spooled back up again, and then we should be fine. The third is coming back in to... Now we do actually have, this is a shipyard that's building. So these are the, this is the first fleet with their super ships have just come into this location. Now that is, build a large mining station. This is actually an enemy ship, of course. Is there refueling in here? No, there's not. So there's no refueling at this location. In fact, I don't think there's any refueling much anywhere. What we can do again is, now that we need to sort of try to find, there's a refueling station out here. You can see down through there. There's one over through here as well. But if this one's owned by the Mortallans, which it is, you can see there, that's the refueling station there. So this mining station, Narg 2, is not controlled by us, so we can't do much with that one. There's no other, that's not refueling, is it? No, that's a frozen gas giant, but doesn't have Caslon. So I can't even really go and do anything with that one there. So, what should I capture? These are just little steel mining stations down through that side in the asteroid belts. That one there has just got Necros stone. Oh, it's a research station. Well, that's the one. That's what we want. So what does this one do? This particular world is, so Takama 3 has got one location bonus, plus 20% armor research. Awesome. Okay, so let's go and capture this. Is there anyone on board? No, there's not. So I'm just going to go to the first fleet, sorry, which is now in this system. So it's just moving to a location in space. But let's go and tell it to go and capture this. So capture the Takama Research Station. And so this will be a little bit more protected than a mining base. But our ships will come in and we'll try to get hold of that one ourselves if we can. So that would be a useful one. And then even though it doesn't make fuel, it'll still attract fuel. Sorry guys, I'm missing a lot of the comments through here. Hi Bynon, I think, and Tenu, I don't know if I said hi before. Hi Sapior. Well, we were saying, Daz, I love all of the details and simulation taking place behind the scenes, but I don't like how the smaller ships just form an arc and fire while not really moving. Imagine space warfare would be more like naval warfare with broadsides and constant movement. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I guess really all that they're trying to do is the ships try to find their best angle for attack. Once they get that, they then stop, which means that they, depending on what orders they've been given. So, and we don't get to see what the orders are for the enemy ships, but our own ships have been told to be aggressive, which means maneuver to you as close as you can possibly be, and then start fire, and then keep on firing. So that's all that they're trying to do. They're not trying to maneuver. They're trying to get angles, and they're trying to get proximity with their attacks. And so the enemies will have the same as well. Bunchronet's saying, hello, Daz and chat. So does anyone know if for future iteration the players will be able to set attack targets like fleets, planets, or for allied factions? I don't think so. I don't think that would be brought in, to be honest. And so what we're saying, what's the term standoff here? That pulls me out of the simulation. I guess it'd be too much also to simulate that type of combat. Yeah, I think it is what it is, and I think that's sort of you do get fluid movement, particularly if one fleet has been told to evade and the other fleet is told to be aggressive, and you will find that they will dance around a little bit in combat. So they don't always do it, but certainly around bases and stuff, they certainly just set themselves up and then start to bombard what they're doing. Anyway, let's continue on through here, and I guess that's the only real interaction that we've got going on at the moment. That's that 28th Strike Force is moving across to this station here. Again, once we actually finish up with this, it will be then time for us to then have a look at, this one here, the 5th Strike Force. I'm going to just tell it to go back to defend again. It's going to defend this whole region. The 3rd will be refueled and repaired. So we'll wait for it to be refueled and repaired. And then it's going to, I might send it down to the Scaliger system, just to sort of stop any ships that are forming up there. This one also has a long-range scanner on board the big heavy carrier there, the Orangutans Library. With the group that we have in through here, the first, I don't really want this to be leaving this system, but we have to get the fuel to these ships. There are a few refuelers. How many have we got? Only 2. So the 2 refuelers, where are they? One's right there. Okay, so this one here is coming in. It will be able to refuel the ships, but it'll take a long time. Anyway, let's just go. Now it's going across to there. Why would it go there? Frozen ice moon. There's nothing there to be mined. I think it's just trying to keep out of combat. All right, let's watch here what goes on here, I guess. Now here comes another group of ships sort of come into this system. So we've come in at the same time as another fleet. They're moving off. Now as we fly past the ships, here they go. They've got a group coming in to try to combat us. But I think we'll just we won't worry about them. We'll just let them continue on with their capture mission. The trouble we've got through here is the fuel is so bad on these ships. Because we've had to travel, all the way across the galaxy. So we've gone from combat over here all the way through to here now. If we have to, we can send them back out to our refueling stations back out here. There's another refueling station back out this way as well. I thought it was. Oh no, it's not. So anyway, that's sort of where we are. We've got mineral miners and things there, and all prospecting ships. That's the humans. The humans are our ally. They're down over here. The reason we got into this war was actually to try to protect them, and just put as much pressure on the Quameno as we could. So we've got the Anoth Sovereignty Hive has declared war on the Boscaro simulation course. That's 2 bug factions now fighting each other. Accept trade. Yeah, I'll just keep on accepting this trade just to get as friendly as we can with them. So, Nug. That is a useful... Yeah, we can't do it. It's not ours. That would be definitely one that we'd be wanting to go and get. This is all old Mortalan territory. And again, the Mortalans control this. And the Mortalans are not friendly with us. What we could do is actually ask them for a treaty. If you just go back across into diplomacy and then go down to the Mortalans. Sorry, that's the pirates. This is the Comanches. Now they're -8. Oh, we do actually have a restricted trade agreement with them. That's actually probably good enough. That's about as good as we can expect. And we are doing lots of trade with them, actually, which is good. These guys here, we now actually, they're displeased with us. -13. And it's getting worse because we actually have, they're gonna come back to war. So we have to keep the second fleet in to basically stop them from getting too aggressive. Then it won't fit our aggression, but that is rusting away. The trouble is, your colonies and bases trespassing our systems. They don't like that. It's getting worse and worse until they end up going to war. So they'll be at war again with us, which will then give us another opportunity to take that other world. But that's some time off. Yeah, we only entered our war 1.9 years ago. Now we're trying to befriend it. We've got them. That's sort of what our goal is. But I've got a funny feeling we're going to have to crush them, actually, ultimately. But we want to be out of this war as well by that stage. Anyway, let's just keep on going in here. Jumped. You've got strike forces and things coming in here. Small craft are now moving in. Selling secrets. We'll just accept that trade as well. We have a fair bit of money, so we'll just keep on doing this with them. The cruiser is under attack here. We saw that one coming in. So this is the Tail Sly Fox is there. So all three of these ancient ships are sort of now moving in to help out, well, to do this attack. I don't think these have got any actual... No, they don't have any crew on board. Have to wait for the other ships to arrive to take this one on. So I'm not sure what these are going to be doing. They're going to be moving off to a different location. So that's fine. We'll just keep on sort of zipping on through. We can now sort of see that there was a lot of ships that have now moved into here as well. There's another invasion force. If we zoom back out and go to... where is that the invasion force? It's an unknown fleet. 15 ships. 22nd invasion fleet. We don't know how many troops they got on board. So this is another invasion fleet getting ready to go off and take on something else. On the planet itself, there's not much there. Now, this is actually a artifact, so getting hold of this would be good. This is a leather-bound journal, contains hand-drawn star charts created by early human explorers. While the cataclysm has rendered many entries outdated, several hidden routes remain accurate, and so we end up with plus 10% hyperdrive jump accuracy by having this one under our control, which would be great. This means we can jump closer to attacks and stuff like this, which actually makes a big difference. Anyway, that's sort of once we actually get refueled. Now, refueling is going to be the problem here because we are really quite low now on our fuel. Like they're so close to being out of fuel. We're going to have to get to a location and just sit there for a little while and defend against the waves that come up against us. Our war readiness is now getting to a fairly high level. Let's just keep it going. And they're now offering to end the war. So now we have to start thinking seriously. So they're offering to end. We should have a quick look and see what they're thinking. Famulus. If you go and have a look at them, their war readiness is still very, very high. So they're not having any problems at all with war weariness at all. sort of feel like I want to have the other bits and pieces there. So Edit the Mad is saying, did this campaign start today? When did it start? It started probably about a month ago. What I found is I used to play the game very, very minimally. I would play it for like maybe 2 sessions and then stop. And then we started playing a little while ago. We started playing right through towards the end game, and it was so much more fun. Like the deeper you get into the game, and so we're now sort of probably entering the middle of the game. We've still got a long way to go in this particular run, and so we've been this will probably be about our 4th or 5th session, I think. So we've been playing it for a fair bit of time. Thank you there for the subscription there, Sashi Shade. Very, very much appreciated. Saying happy holidays. There we are. So Seb was saying to the Mad, I think this has been going on for over a month by now. Yeah, he doesn't often play it on all streams. Yeah, I play it a little bit also on the Slytherin channel as well. So sometimes there's stuff on the Slytherin channel that is done. Falcon's saying about 10 episodes. I don't think it's that far in, to be honest. I don't think we're that far into this one. We've been playing like. As the new content comes out, I then just sort of start at that point again. But it really, like, at the moment we're into the destroyer phase of the game. Like we've now, like you're seeing that the enemy's got destroyers, we've got destroyers. So we're sort of now building up into more powerful fleets, and we'll go beyond that. Like, and so we end up like it does take a lot of time to play out. This cruiser under attack. It's fine, except treaty. I'm going to decline that for now. For the simple reason I actually really do want this planet. If I can hold on for that planet, that would be ideal. The second is still doesn't have anything in through there, so they're moving off into this direction. We've left ourselves a little bit open. We'll see how we go. The first is coming back in. So small craft down this way as well. So they've got their own little, the fighter craft as well coming in. These are extremely powerful ships. So we're going to destroy this before we even get to it. Here comes the rest of the fleet. So we've left it with practically nothing for the other guys to come in and take it over. So they'll then they'll then start to put their forces on board. Here comes another fleet. And you can see there how powerful these ancient ships actually are. There we go. Sending their crews on board. We need a lot more than that. There we go, got enough there now. Alright, so back into here. So this is the beacon. So the beacon is now taking a little bit of damage to the shields, a little bit of damage to the armor as well. But so we can now now that we've got those people on board, we should be able to now take this mining station. The station here, and we just now need to defend. So we're just going to get the first to attack the ships that are coming back through. So there's another one there. We'll go and we'll just destroy these ships. There we go. Really, they can't hold up against these ancient ships. These ancient ships are so strong, and we've now taken over this this research station, which we will now use if it does have fuel on board. If we have a look at the resource shortages, though, there's nothing there because I'm guessing the ancient ships sort of pretty destroyed the everything that was there. And we've still got cargo bays. Quite often there'll be fuel left in the cargo bays, but not this time. So that gives us an outpost in this location as well, which is awesome. I would actually probably now accept peace. So we've got the Boscara Corps has invaded and taken over a mangrove of Tokarian 1 against the Akdarians. That's nothing to do with us. And we've now captured that particular one. So this sun here will now slowly start to repair back up again. It'll take a long time. Really can't do much with that one. So with the first again, I'll just let it attack that one. Track the beams, pulling it in, and destroyed very, very quickly. Okay, so what we need to do here is we're running really out of very, very low on fuel on these two fast cruisers. So I'm just going to go and do a long click in through here and just go refuel from fuel tankers. So the fuel tankers, which are, that's the destroyer, that is a heavy escort. Where's our fuel tankers? Just go back to the first. There's one over through here, which is just hiding behind this particular location. So it's now going to come through and start to transfer fuel back into the other groups. It's carrying a fair bit of fuel. So they'll move in. Where's the other one? There must be another one back down in here, I'm guessing. Fuel barge from the first fleet moving in as well. And what's that one there? We've got a constructor. Okay, we've got one of our constructors is off to build some sort of station over this other side as well. But if we can just stay in here just to refuel up, and then we can start to really dominate this system. Let's just wait. And now our ships should all just congregate together. Now they're offering protection, which I'm going to decline. Mining station is being boarded. This is pirates attacking us. Dismiss that one. Accept treaty. I'll decline that as well. The small craft are now just coming back on board their ships. So they're sort of just getting ready to go back in. Here comes a fuel tanker. I'm going to just tell them specifically to go and transfer fuel into different locations. So the Beacon is now fueling up. The other two that I really need to get fueled up very, very quickly, the Tailsly Fox as well, which is down to only 7. Okay, the Beacon is now refueled. Is that now refueling? Yeah, it's refueling up the Tailsly Fox. Here comes the other refueler. So we'll just get the fleet fueled up with these ships. They'll then go off. These refuelers will then go off and mine gas mining stations automatically. So we're finding loot as well. Location maps recovered. So we're now going through the through all the junk in through here and trying to find information. So these guys are all now starting to actually. I'll just put that one back to automation again. Fully automate. That way they'll just keep on sort of just doing their thing. So the ships will then sort of be refueled. Yeah, there we go. So they're offering improved countermeasures. I'm going to accept this trade. We're trying to get as close as we can to these guys. So we've got that one, dismiss that one. We may not need it, but yeah, so we'll just dismiss that one. So there's just more tech that we've acquired through diplomacy. So this is in the Kujakos system. Let's go and have a quick look at this one through here. So this is actually the Kujakos mining station. This is no, it's not the Caslon, is it? Now this is the second, is it? Second Defence Force. Now actually has all of its everything back up again. And so we have a war mission to go and capture the Kujakos 3 mining station. So we've come into Kujakos 2, but we want to go to 3, which will be the next layer out. That's an asteroid belt, so it'll be this one here. All right, so let's go. We've now got enough to capture this one, so let's just go and tell it to go and capture this. Capture Kujakos 3. So there's a defense force there waiting for us. So we'll leave that one alone, and we'll just go straight off. There we go. They'll have to follow us now, but we'll now try to capture this particular mining station. This will then be the one of the war missions we have to do. So that will be good. Some of these have taken a little bit of damage, nothing too much. And then once we capture that one, we probably won't be able to hold on to it, but we'll probably then sort of send it back home again. Let's see how the first is now going. All the powerful ships are sort of being refueled. We're still just waiting on fuel tankers at this stage, so we'll just keep it going, and then we'll start to dominate the actual location. This thing is still only at 13%. It's probably going to be waiting for a construction ship to come back in, and then we'll go after the actual planet itself. In the meantime, the 4th should be ready to go. We do actually have a invasion fleet coming through here, which is our friends, the Rheingold, which have got 3 infantry, 4 armor, and so they're moving to Miss M3 mining station. So they're actually must be moving into to refuel, I'm guessing. So that will be what they'll be up to. The 3rd fleet no longer has a mission, and it's now fully repaired. And so we're going to send it off down to the Skalagar system, where there is this particular moon. Particular planet. Let's just move in and see what we can find. There's no... well, there's this one here. Let's just go and capture this. So we'll send them in to capture that particular location. Now we don't know what's down there yet. Once we get this fleet down that way, we'll then actually have a long-range scanner, because the big carrier has actually got a long-range scanner on board, and that way we'll see everything that's going to then be happening around this region. In the meantime, we'll just go back to the 1st and wait for the refueling to take place everywhere else. It's just refueling everything. It's slow going. The destroyer in Kuchikos 3. So they have followed us in a little bit. Look, in that case, let's take this out. It's part of the 11th Defence Force. Come with the rest of the ships from that group. If we take too much damage, I'm going to have to jump. Defend the important research station, the Kalina station. Where is that? I'll just zoom back out. It should then highlight for us. Oh, it's way over here. Now these are Actarians. These are not who we think they are. So we happen to build a research station in here somewhere. Where would it be? Over there. So we've built a research station. I'm just going to say yes to this. Because I'm just so far away from the actual fight that I think we're okay. Now, as soon as we start to take unacceptable damage, we'll move out of here. Because it is hard for us to hit these guys. Like, it's very, very difficult for our standard ships to be able to compete. Like, their ships are worth 800 points each, and our whole 2nd fleet is only worth sort of 2 of their ships. So it makes it pretty hard. Hi, Thor Nelman saying, yes, totally, much so, in no way comparable games. Yeah, they're completely different. Union ID saying, iron weapons work best against shields. Yes, not really. And again, if I sort of show you that, I'll just read the rest of them and come back to that question. So Juma is then saying, any news on when they will release Distant World Shadows, playing as pirates? I believe in the early part, like it's supposed to be in the winter, which I'm guessing still means it could be in January or February, I would imagine, but I don't actually know. Yeah, there we go. Actually, Mad have Menon is in saying probably January, February. Yeah, so it's not going to be December. I can tell you that. So we've got the so these ships. We should be able to still do big damage on these sorts of ships as they come through. We really want to capture this if we can, just to get like another refueling station. We haven't actually suffered any losses at all from these guys yet. We've been able to sort of micromanage our way through this fairly well. Now, iron weapons and how they then work. If we have a look at their ships, this ship here has hardly taken any damage. A little bit of damage to its shields. So when we attack with an iron weapon, which I think have these guys got the iron weapon? Yeah, it's got the iron cannon through here. You can see down through here, this has got iron damage against engines, hyperdrive, sensors, shields, and weapons. So they're the different things that they do, that they try to damage. You can see there that shields are only half what the others actually are. So it's actually less effective against shields for disabling than it is for other things. So it's not as effective as you would hope. So very rarely does an iron cannon take down shielding. It can, but it's quite rare. It's more likely to take down weaponry or hyperdrives or sensors, things like that, or engines. Yeah, engines often is really sort of what it does then go and do. And then coupled with that as well, like when we go back to the enemy ships, have a look and see what they've got on board. The bubble shields that they've got will actually have an iron, see how it's got component iron defense there as well, and iron damage defense. So these actually these particular shields defend incredibly well, like just amazingly well. So it's almost impossible for us to take down a bubble shield with an iron cannon. Other components like the hyperdrive will have a little bit of iron defense of just one. So these are much more open to being attacked with the stuff. So it doesn't really sort of, that's sort of where that one does kick in. So I'm not expecting the shielding to drop through iron cannon damage at all, like against these ships. Our ships would be a little bit different. Like if we have a look at our particular ship here, and look at the frigate, for example, we've only got Corvidian shields. You can see down there our iron the defense, component iron defense and iron damage defense is only 15, is half what the bubble shields are. The bubble shields are the best shields in the game. So the Quameno really do have, like we have to find ways to basically smash through their shielding when we fight against the Quameno. So it makes them very, very difficult to contend with. Anyway, we'll wait for them to ask for peace again next, and then we'll probably just accept it if we can hold on to that station. I wouldn't mind getting that that invasion going. Maybe let's just go and get the fourth. The fourth is just sitting here ready to go. I'll just tell it to move out a little bit into space into here, just to sit back out there and just get ready. In the meantime, this is probably the most interesting of the fights going on. It's mainly their defense. It's so hard to break through their defense. Like this ship is still going. It's jumping away now. Yeah, we're finding location maps back in the salvage from that last attack. We're not going to be able to... actually, the shields are now down. It's trying to escape. We're not going to be able to do anything with that one. Now just attack this one here. This is where we're using the deal breaker beams. Will sort of smack their way through their shields and do damage elsewhere. It's trying to jump as well. Oh, here comes another fleet. This is the 15th Defence Force. I don't think we can really contend with this now, so I think we're now out of our depth. So before we start to take any actual damage, I'm going to set our guys now to move away from this location. And we need to go off and refuel. It wants to go to the Frosid spaceport, which is over here, but I want it to go back over into this location. So I'm going to tell it to go back into, hopefully we've got a refueler that we control. we control this one? No, that's the home world. There's no refueling there. Yeah, we did take this one over. So we took this one over, which is refueling. So I'm going to tell the second to move back to here and refuel. So they can move back away now. We're not going to be able to do what we wanted to do back in that location. So we'll just leave it. And that's actually outside of our fuel range. This yellow sort of line is the fuel range that we actually have. So I've got no real way to refuel. It's going to be slow going now for that particular group. So now the Shiat has invaded and taken over the desert savanna colony of Golgima, which is actually the group that was there was an invasion force that was moving up this way, but these guys here have moved in and taken that world. All right, so that was only a small world, I think. I don't think. It's only got it's got nearly 1 billion population on it. I mean, it's it would be interesting, I guess, but we'll just keep on with our plan to take this world. So this was an old world that was independent world that was then taken over by the Mortallans and then reinvaded by the Quameno just fairly recently. So it will invade it as well. It still hasn't done anything just yet. So with the first is almost refueled. Let's just wait for the refueling to take place. And then we'll go in and start to sort of dominate the home world. Where's the small ships? There they are. They're just moving around from ship to ship. They're the 2 refuelers there. Just waiting for these to come up. The 21st Strike Force is travelling towards the Frosted Spaceport. So there is actually a force that we've now located coming through. Again, it's relatively strong. But we do actually have the 5th Strike Force has moved out there to defend that. So the long-range scanner that's in the 3rd Fleet is sort of now picking things up. So we'll just keep things going through here. We'll just wait for the refueling to take place. Really just watching all of these ships that don't have the fuel on board. Yep, they're also travelling. There's another strike force as well. So 2 strike forces going to go and take on the 5th, along with the spaceport. The spaceport itself should be able to defend itself fairly well. Here they go, last the fuel. And that is now done. So with the first, we'll now start to get aggressive around this world. Now here comes another raiding force. They've come in to sort of take on this particular group. Now there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. We have a resort base there. We've got a spaceport back over here. I'm going to send my ships against the resort base, I think. One thing is going to then be slow going around the outside, or we just come in and smash these guys. Let's go and aim for one of these. That way we're going to end up in here. We can then sort of pivot to whichever direction we want to go. Let's wait for our ships to leave this that moon. Or that planet. Here they come. And we might just go down to half speed here because there's going to be a lot going on. Now they have... Their invasion fleet is attacking... There's a small group there and the invasion fleet has come across. We'll let the invasion fleets go. In this case, we get the first and just wait for everything else to arrive. Alright, and so what we probably should do is go after this spaceport. So we'll attack the Takama spaceport. And we'll be attacking things on the way. I'm going to micromanage this ship and just move it out of the way. It jumped too far. So we'll draw that one back up into our main forces. And the big cruisers are now coming through. The Beacon and the Tailsly Fox. These will be smashed. Quiet there as well. There's the Bowl and P that's in this group. It's just a heavy escort looking for the bigger ones. There's the Bowl and P back in the middle of the fleet. We are spreading out a little bit, but it doesn't matter so much for these powerful ships at the front here. Again, we've got sort of like big beam weapons and stuff on these ships. There goes our small craft. Yeah, incredible firepower on these fast cruisers. Again, these are the most powerful ships in the game at this stage, which we happen to find. Hardly any damage at all coming through here. I like how it goes into the shadow of the planet. It's improved a lot, the graphics. These are sort of Actarian ships, and these I think are the last of the ships to be last of the factions to be worked on. Lose a little bit of health. It's destroyed. Trying to move away from the attack. Now, that's an invasion force. Nothing on board that one. There is actually a general on board there. Alright guys, that's the one we want. So we'll take this general out. Tractor beams on. Destroy it. Kaboom. Right, so there will be a escape pod. There it is. This little heavy escort can have the honour of taking on board this general. Pick up the escape pod. So it's moving in to pick up that escape pod, which is floating in space just there. There it goes, sending out an away team. Almost got it. Get it pretty soon. There we go. Enemy general captured. So General Swenger Yukon. Okay, so that's good. That's now a someone that we can do a swap with different things with if we need to. I'll just remove that. Now there's still the big attack going on over here. Let's have a look and see. We should be able to now see if the invasion fleet, it doesn't have any troops on board. So they're sort of struggling at this stage. Let's just go and get the, yeah, that's another invasion force up through there. Reactor is offline there. I'm not going to worry about that one either. On the world, there's hardly anything left on the world. They've still got a defense strength there of 1,900. So what they have is they've got armoured breakthrough. They've got one armoured unit there. They've got a fortified line. Space control is still theirs because of the resort base. So we have to get rid of that resort base. And they do have some defensive facilities there as well. So we are going to go back around with the first and now attack the resort base. So we'll just attack the Majestic Waterfalls stopover. That will then get rid of the space control that they then actually have. So we'll let that one move across. We'll just go back up to normal speed. And then we really want to start to sort of blockade this planet. Now we'll take that out pretty quickly. The fourth is heading, is just sitting out here now. Now there goes another invasion group that we're just sort of spotting on the way back through. That's had 2 infantry, 2 armor. This is not an enemy of ours. There we go. We've got another invasion force coming in here that's probably going to try to take over that world, I would guess. Third Fleet. Let's go and capture this one. I might as well, just while there's nothing much else. There's no other real infrastructure in here. Nothing built there. Nothing built there either. So they've got a fair few things in around this particular world, but we'll just take what we can in through here. Now there's the other fleets. You can see there's heaps of fleets everywhere out through here now. Troops unknown. No troops on that one. I don't think there's much troops left over, to be honest. I think that their race is done. Our war weariness is now becoming unacceptable. I do want to take this planet, so we'll just get the fourth and we'll just tell it to start this invasion. So we're going to do a prepare and invade, which means that they sort of should then have their timing fairly well done. They shouldn't need to do the preparation, but I'm still going to tell it to do it anyway. So prepare and invade Takama 2. We'll just go and do that one. And so we need to have the first really looking after this properly and stopping anything else that comes back in. I may even bring the third up as well, just while this invasion takes place, because this is really what we're looking for now. So we'll just let this one come back down. This thing here will rip this apart. In fact, here we go. The Quark is already here, along with the Tailsly Fox, and this will just rip this thing apart. Here comes our invasion fleet. They're jumping away, and then the humans are just helping out as well. Okay, we've got a mining station under attack. At Mission 3. Why is the fifth not reacting? Are they moving back now? Okay, so they're moving back. These guys are moving in as well. Have we got this one yet? Not yet. That will come soon enough. So we've got a lot going on everywhere. Actually, they've still got other fleets around the place. That's the 22nd Invasion Fleet. No troops. Unknown ships back over there. That's okay. We've now taken out that resort base. The first fleet, I'm going to tell it to blockade this planet, which will then stop any sort of interaction with the planet from other forces. That should then allow these invasion ships to do their job. That one's got nothing on board, nothing on board, nothing on board. So these are the invasion. And if we now have a bit of a look at it, we can now see they've still got space control, but it shouldn't be there because we have space control. Now we've picked up a few new things. We've got a new mining station, so that's fine. We've got they've now got monitoring stations research has now been completed. So this is now working out well. Incoming fleet detected. Yep, we saw that one before. Yep, we've got that one. The destroyer Quark was under control, under attack there as well. That's okay. So that's now sort of just happening. So we've got the this is 3 and a bit years for the small spaceports. I'm just going to go back in and crash do that research as well. So this is the enhanced construction, and we'll just crash pay the cost. So we get that one in half the time. So now what will happen is our base will now start to build monitoring stations. So in our, just to sort of just cover what's going on with that one, there'll be a monitoring station base that will show up, which I can't see. Where is it? I might have to give it a day or so just to for them to design it. But the AI will then design a monitoring station and then use that to start to build like long-range scanners everywhere, which will be handy. So there shouldn't be any nasty surprises from different things, which would be nice. Okay, so the third, let's just see how the third is going. Have they now done what they needed to do? Yes, they do. Okay, that will be under our control. So we'll just get the third. I'm going to bring them back up to this planet because this planet is going to be, the planet that we do want to be controlling. So we'll just go back in and cross into around here somewhere. Move to hull plating, that'll be okay. These guys are coming in for the attack. Okay, they've captured another mining station, one of their old mining stations. Yeah, they're offering to end the war. I'm going to try to hold this off just for a little while because I do want this planet. There we go, we've got our armour now breaking through. So you can see down through here now, we've got more armour than what they've got on the ground. We've already got more numbers than what they've got, but it's not enough. We need a lot more than that, but we've got a lot more still coming, so we've still got a lot more infantry to arrive. We now have space control. We control space. We've got the armoured breakthrough, so their armoured force is no longer able to defend. Some of these will actually be, these are like battle mech brigades. We've got executioner hives back in through here as well. So we've got different groups, and they've just got a heap of these are just militia, which don't have any real strength. But some of these other ones that defend very, very well, like 227, for example, defense strength is extremely strong. So we need to ultimately break through those. They only have the fortified line that will break eventually as the armor sort of takes control. Let's just unpause and just watch as more troops arrive. And what we have to now stop is them dropping troops in at the same time. So I'm going to go back and just watch what's going on here. 7th Strike Force, yeah, that's okay. I'm going to leave that one there. Accept treaty. I'm going to decline that treaty. Actually, I might accept that, actually. Invading the colony. And this one here, it's a little line there. Once that goes, they're going to then not offer it anymore. And I don't want to be leaving right now. So I'm just going to wait and see if we can actually take this planet before and then accept this. So let's just see how we go. What's that there? First, just needs to stop these. should still have space control, I hope. Yeah, we do. We've certainly got the numbers, but will we be able to smack our way through in time? That's the. I mean, they will offer it again, but it's. But I really want this planet. I don't think we're going to. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Oh, come on, come on, come on, and it's gone. Okay, so it's now rusted away, so we no longer have that particular message. Yeah, we're very, very close now to just breaking our way through here. So that 27 Strike Force enemy fleet of the has been detected travelling towards the Matrani 3 spaceport. Again, Strike Forces aren't going to worry me too much. New base completed is fine. Hive ships are starting to sort of appear around in the space as well. So we should have this done fairly fast. Once we take this world, I'm going to then ask for peace. Colony conquered, there we go. So we now actually have, Takamar 2 of the Femulus Polymathia has now sort of been conquered. We'll dismiss that one. So we've now got this world, which will now give us this region of space. So we now sort of control, we sort of now are, like we could now essentially buy what we need from these guys if we needed to. Like for example, we could now sort of ask them, okay, we want this Narg mining station, which I do want. So there's a few different things like that now that we control this region of space. These guys are really struggling now, so they'll sort of be happy for whatever. Yeah, there's different fleets now operating around their territories. So let's, we're probably going to have to end this stream around about now anyway, but that's, at least we've sort of achieved what we needed to there. They're attacking back out here again. I think I'll see if I can actually sue for peace now. They may not do it. There's a strike force from the other enemy, which is back over this other side. But this is a really, really good staging point now. We've now got a good, solid human population. I don't think that they'll be friendly with us. There's nothing unfriendly up the top. So they may be happy enough. Actually, they're happy enough. They're satisfied. This may change a little bit, but at this point in time, this is very, very cool. So everything is sort of working fairly well there. So because we've got another human world and because we're friendly with the humans, they see that as sort of like a natural aspect of what's going on. Yeah, these aren't going to be able to really do much in through there. Let's go and talk with them. And we'll speak with them, negotiate a deal. They're likely to accept that one. I want Quark back. And I want that spy back as well. We're going to give them their general back. With the Zolkin 3 mining station, it's not really worth much. Reveal that. What about we leave Wad Ubuntu back? They're likely to get Quark, the spy Quark, back. We're close to getting this one. Let's put that one back into the mix. Contact them. Just tell them where all these other things are around in the galaxy. I don't want to give them any tech. Yeah, okay, they'll take it with that mining station. The Zolkin 3 mining station. Yes, we give them that. We get these 2 spies back and we get peace. What do you think of this deal? Yes, this war serves no purpose. We're offering our forces to stop fighting. Okay, that's cool. So we've just picked up both of our spies that were actually had been captured by this group. So we just say goodbye. So that's the end of that war. That was good, actually. Those spies we did want to get back. They were good. They may be corrupted. If we have a quick look at who they actually are now, if we go back to the spies. So Quark has got no mission. That one's on auto. I'm leaving this one on counterintelligence because it's useless at everything else. So we get a couple of our spies back, and they're both good. So they're still going to just do their own thing. So I'll leave them to work. So so they're fine. Let's now go and talk with the Comarachis. And they're still at war, I would imagine. Yeah, they're still at war with the Famulus Polymathia, so they've still got a war going on. And what's their war weariness is critical. They're terrible. Like, they've got a really big problem here. So let's do some things. So we can. They won't accept treaties, but deals we could possibly go and do. They've got all these different mining stations which are now inside our territory. It's a bit expensive, actually. Number one. Yeah, I don't need that one. What's that one? Not sure where that is. Over there. Why would I want that? It's expensive, that one. Narb 2, I think, is the this is the gas giant. Yes, it is a pretty poor cat. I don't think it will worry. I think we'll just leave it, but we'll now have. I'm just going to never mind. Yeah, they won't do these treaties. I'll just say goodbye. So they're in a lot of trouble. They're probably going to be wiped out, I would think, fairly soon. I wish that the Mortlands were stronger than what they actually are in the game. Like they're okay a little bit, but they don't really tend to last all that long. We've got a few other little worlds around the place, but they're struggling. Definitely struggling. All right, so the war is over. We no longer have any wars. Our war weariness is still fairly high, and we're just trying to get the enhanced construction. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. So thanks for watching. So that was a pretty cool little war that we had there, and we've taken a very, very important planet for us. So which sort of gives us a nice area now into the center of the galaxy. So we've sort of now broken into the inner core almost, where the Quameno actually are. So the next war we have with the Quameno will be staged from this planet here. But we can then do other things back into this other side as well. Like if we could be able to dominate this one. We've got a lot of stuff we can do. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time. Oh, if I don't stream tomorrow, I hope everyone has a great Christmas. But I should be streaming tomorrow. So yeah, so I should still be back. So there we go. Steph's saying now Merry Christmas. I think I'll still get a chance to stream tomorrow, but which is my Christmas day. It'll be Christmas Eve for most of you guys, I guess. But if I don't make it, then I hope you have a great Christmas, and I should be back just before New Year's after that. So anyway.